This video was the last one MayRazec posted before disappearing. She appears crying, with her face painted like a clown, a sad song playing in the background, and the title "Because You Are Leaving." No one understood what was behind this scene. But after that, Marian vanished, and what happened next left Mexico in shock. Hey everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to another video here on the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the MayRazec case, an incident that happened recently in Mexico and has had a huge impact over there. This case, guys, has a lot of theories, right? We're going to discuss some of them here, and I've brought all the available information about this case up to now. Well, I ask that you stay with me until the end to better understand this story. And as you already know, if you enjoy my content, leave a like and a comment. It really helps my work here. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Flor Marian Izaguirre Pineda, better known as Marian Izaguirre, was born on November 13, 2001, in Uruapan. Uruapan is a city of just over 300,000 inhabitants, located in the state of Michoacán, Mexico. The names of her parents have not been revealed in any sources, but it is known that her father worked as an avocado seller and her mother in domestic services. There is also no information about whether Marian had siblings or if she was an only child. According to sources, she grew up in a lower middle-class household with very caring and loving parents. From a very young age, Marian was described as highly communicative and naturally expressive. This allowed her to make friends easily and gain the affection of many people. These natural abilities, so to speak, would later prove crucial in her adult life for her career as a digital influencer. Even in childhood, Marian developed a strong interest in the arts and social media. She also enjoyed sports, having practiced skating and boxing. In 2018, at the age of 17, she dived into the virtual world by creating her account on the TikTok platform, which at the time was becoming increasingly popular. Her first videos were very simple but authentic. She made homemade makeup tutorials in a minimally decorated setting, awkward dance videos following viral trends, and some humor clips. Within 6 months, she gained a few hundred followers, who discovered her profile through a video in which she taught how to create a zombie makeup look for Halloween. That video, at the time, reached over 10,000 views, something that may seem small for bigger creators, but for Marian, it was a significant achievement and the start of something bigger. In a live stream she did in 2022, she said that when she began recording short videos for TikTok, she was still very shy, despite enjoying interacting with people, but over time, the camera helped her overcome that shyness. By the end of 2019, Marian had already reached 50,000 followers and began dedicating part of her day to creating content. Her first sponsorship was with a nail polish brand, which paid her about $200 to make a video testing the product and sharing her opinion. At that time, her content was very diverse. She didn't have a specific niche. Sometimes she made humor videos, sometimes lifestyle content, and sometimes makeup videos. She had some videos that were a kind of vlog, which she titled The Daily Life of a Poor Influencer. In March 2020, Marian experienced significant growth across all her social media platforms. The whole world was in lockdown due to the health crisis at the time, so people had to stay home and as a result spent more time online. During this period, while the world was isolating, Marian created a character she portrayed herself called Super Agent Izaguirre. This character was a clumsy spy, with improvised capes made from towels and crooked glasses. The agent Izaguirre quickly captivated the audience. According to sources, the first video posted featuring this character reached 1 million views in just 24 hours. These numbers are impressive for content creators, especially someone just starting out. Marian even made a video thanking viewers for these numbers, and in that same video reportedly said she wasn't smart, but she knew how to make people laugh. By June 2020, Marian had already surpassed 1 million followers on TikTok and 100,000 followers on Instagram. Super Agent Izaguirre brought Marian not only followers but also recognition, and she knew how to leverage the opportunity to grow on social media. In 2021, Marian won the TikTok Mexico Breakthrough of the Year award. According to sources, at that time she already had sponsorships earning her over $5,000 per month. In December of the same year, she made a Christmas post sharing a photo with her mother, thanking her for everything in her life. Marian was living the best time of her life. She had established herself as a digital influencer and was achieving all her dreams. In June 2023, she took a big step by releasing the song Boom Boom, which reached over 10 million listeners on Spotify. Marian aimed to establish herself in a music career, and it seemed everything was in her favor. She even recorded some music videos that were posted on her social media, receiving excellent views and praise from the audience. However, Marian's followers began to notice small signs of stress in her. In one of her posts, Marian reportedly wrote that fame can sometimes be suffocating. She had also entered a complicated relationship. Sources do not provide information about who the person was or how long the relationship lasted. The fact is, during this period, she posted stories indicating that she was feeling sad because the relationship wasn't going anywhere. By 2025, Marian was much more active on her social media. She posted several times a day and interacted extensively with her audience. According to sources, she had over 3 million followers on TikTok and more than 300,000 on Instagram. Then, in August of that year, everything changed. Marian's followers were used to seeing her smiling, joking, and making playful videos, even if her jokes weren't always that good. Since the beginning of her online career, Marian wanted to make people smile, but something had changed in her. At the end of August, the young influencer made a post that left everyone intrigued. She uploaded a video with her face painted like a clown, crying, and performing a very famous song called Porque Te Vas. This song, released in 1969, became famous through the voice of Jeanette, a British singer linked to Spanish culture. In recent years, the song had also become popular on social media, with creators using it for performances. The video showed a very different side of Marian than what her followers were used to seeing. She appeared genuinely sad and shaken by something no one knew. She also wrote the name of the song and added a sad emoji in front. The video, of course, caused concern among her followers who, besides being worried, were also curious to find out what was happening. After that post, Marian didn't publish anything else and stopped responding to her followers. Days before she uploaded that enigmatic video, she had a serious argument with her mother. This reportedly happened on September 1st, and around 6 p.m. that day, Marian left her family home very upset, driving her red Kia Rio. At first, her family wasn't very worried, thinking Marian just needed to cool off. However, the next day, September 2nd, they realized she hadn't returned home. They tried calling her but discovered she had left her phone at home. They then called Marian's close friends, but none of them were with her or knew her whereabouts. Her family knew that even if she was very upset, she would at least inform them if she was okay or not. So they decided not to wait and went to the authorities to report the situation. The authorities didn't waste time either and activated the Alerta Alba, an alert system for women who may be at risk in Mexico. Quickly, the police organized search teams tasked with investigating and locating Marian's whereabouts. Thousands of posters with Marian's photos and information were printed to be distributed and posted around the city. The posters stated that Marian had left wearing a black blouse, light jeans, a jacket, and beige boots with silver heart-shaped earrings. This and other information were widely shared to help third parties possibly identify the young woman. Searches were conducted in various parts of the city, both urban and rural. Checks were also made on highways and through the city's security cameras. Soon, some of Marian's friends, who were also content creators, began asking their followers for help if anyone had any information. As a result, news about the young woman's disappearance spread rapidly, and in a short time, millions of people were already aware of the situation. 20 police teams, drones, and sniffer dogs participated in the searches in Uruapan, along with some volunteers. When the case began being covered by the media, many people were already informed. It didn't take long for countless theories and speculations to start emerging. Some said that Marian had been kidnapped by a fanatical follower, or even by someone involved with a cartel. Others said she had run away with someone she cared deeply about, but whose relationship her family did not approve of, and that this had been the reason for her argument with her mother. Several other theories emerged, most of them focused on the last video Marian had posted on her social media. People said that the sad video with the song Porque Te Vas was directed at someone, though it seemed few people knew who it was. Others said the video was nothing more than a farewell, that Marian had made it to say goodbye to everyone as a final message. The clown makeup and tears were thought to be because she had been deceived by someone and was very sad. In any case, as the theories and speculations grew over the days, Marian remained missing, and no one had any idea of her whereabouts. Family, friends, and followers were in total anguish for 5 days, until, on September 5th, Marian Izaguirre was finally located. The young woman was at a hotel in the city of Morelia. This city is the capital of the state of Michoacán and is about 62 miles from Uruapan, the city where Marian lived with her family. According to reports, she drove for about 2 hours, and there is no information on whether she made any stops along the way. Although Marian had been located, the news was not good. The young woman was in critical condition in her hotel room and was quickly taken to an intensive care unit. There are no details on how she was found. Some sources say it was the hotel itself that contacted the authorities, while others claim the police were able to track her to the hotel using security camera footage. In any case, Marian Izaguirre's condition was severe, causing great concern among her followers and those close to her. Moreover, this brought more attention to the case, making the story reach a wider audience. When she was taken to the hospital, it was confirmed that Marian had serious injuries on her body as well as signs of intoxication. The police quickly launched an investigation to clarify what had actually happened to the young woman. They also placed an armed escort at the hospital where she was staying to protect her. During the investigation, the police did not rule out any possibilities. They even investigated Marian's own family, since the young woman had argued with her mother before leaving the house. At that time, the main theory of the police was that Marian had sought refuge away from her family, but it was still unclear what had actually happened to her. Marian was unable to speak, which made the investigation more difficult. Another factor that complicated the investigation, and which authorities found very strange, was that all the cameras in the hotel where Marian stayed were not working. When the police asked the hotel staff for the camera footage to track Marian's movements during her stay, the staff said the cameras had been turned off for several months. Additionally, the hotel staff could not confirm whether Marian had stayed alone or was accompanied by someone. As the investigations progressed, the case seemed to become increasingly puzzling. According to the police, Marian may have been mistreated by her own family, which is why she left home that day. A neighbor told the police that he saw the young woman leaving in a hurry and looking very upset, but he couldn't tell if she was injured. During a search of the hotel room where Marian had stayed, authorities found some letters written by her. The full content of these letters was not made public, but it is known that they were addressed to some family members and spoke of an unbearable emotional burden. It appears that Marian wrote these letters intending to vent and express how she was feeling. The content of the letters suggested that Marian had been experiencing numerous conflicts with her family over the past few months, which had left her emotionally exhausted. While the police were investigating the case, Marian Izaguirre showed no signs of improvement in the hospital. To make matters worse, it was discovered that during the days she was missing, she had not eaten properly, leaving her very weak and further worsening her condition. The medical team in charge did everything they could to save her, but unfortunately, at 2 p.m. on September 12th, Marian Izaguirre was declared brain dead. The doctors gave an interview confirming that her condition was irreversible and that there was nothing more they could do. Upon learning this, Marian's family stated that the young woman had always wanted to be an organ donor. Despite the family's authorization, since the case was still under investigation, approval from the public prosecutor's office was required for the organs to actually be donated. This authorization came within a few hours and the procedure was approved. A member of the public prosecutor's office stated that the act was altruistic and would save many other lives. At 6 p.m. the following day, September 13th, Marian Izaguirre was officially declared dead. The organ donation was carried out at the Women's Hospital in Morelia, where Marian had been hospitalized. The news of the death of the young influencer, only 23 years old, left many people shaken, especially those who had followed her since the beginning of her online career. The hashtag Marian Izaguirre reached 50 million views within a few hours. On TikTok, duets with her last posted video became a collective tribute. Marian's funeral took place on September 14th at the San Juan Bautista Church in Uruapan. Many fans attended, forming a long line as each person waited their turn to say goodbye to the young woman. The square next to the church was filled with people who had come from all over Mexico. The Mass began at 9 a.m., with 1,500 people inside the church and 500 outside. Everything was streamed live on Instagram by Marcelo Alcazar, an influencer who was very close to Marian. According to sources, the live stream reached 1 million people watching simultaneously. Around 11 a.m., a local choir performed the song Boom Boom, the track Marion had released in 2023. Fans sang along, turning the church into a farewell stage. Tears and applause mingled. Around noon, the coffin was carried out into the street, and a crowd of over 2,000 people accompanied it to the cemetery. The police had to block streets and avenues and control the flow of vehicles and people to keep everything under control. By around 1 p.m., the coffin had already arrived at the Uruapan Municipal Cemetery. The burial was private for family and close friends only, but fans held a vigil at the cemetery entrance with candles and flowers. As of the recording of this video, the case remains open and investigations continue. The authorities' main theory is that Marion took her own life, but it is still unknown whether the injuries she had were self-inflicted or caused by someone else. The young woman's family filed a lawsuit against the police claiming they were taking too long to resolve the case. Some information regarding the investigations is confidential, so much of what emerges is still speculative. What is known is that the investigations continue, with Marion's family being the primary focus for now. So everyone, did she hurt herself or was someone else involved? And this hotel story, isn't it strange? How did they not know whether she was accompanied or not? And even with so much attention, posters spread across the city, how did no employee inform the police that she had already been there for 5 days? It's left hanging, and every detail of this case keeps leaving everyone with more questions than answers. Guys, it's very likely that in the coming months, more information will be made available to the public. But tell me here, what did you think about this case, okay? That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching until the end. A big hug, and see you next time.